and you'll get a throw if you're up close with the hard slash, toward or back hard slash, but kick if you're not. If you're not there.
But that was existed in every Guilty Gear.
That's what I don't even know the series that well, and I thought it was there, and I don't think he talked about it in before. It's like he might have known about it, but like didn't bring it up before or something. I'm not sure.
That's the way it's always been in Guilty Gear. That's an old tactic, which is kind of odd to me. So
yeah, he says, of course I know that previous Guilty Gears had this option select, but to not fix it and to put it in the tutorial, which they did.
Yeah.
He says that's damning. So like he just doesn't like option selects in general. For Serlin, I think that the little mix-up is a huge part of things. Right. That's when he's made games. That has been what's elevated. IMO. And so I totally get why, from that perspective, an option select sucks. Right. That makes total sense to me.
Yeah.
I don't really agree with that, but from his perspective, I think that that's totally coherent.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely two camps, right? There's the people who like option selects. There's the people who hate option selects, right? And again, it's just like you can't get rid of them. Because there's just nothing. You can try to do what you can to mitigate them.
Sure.
But from a programming standpoint, if you are a programmer and you know what people are doing and you program in priorities of moves and just concepts and stuff like that, there's really not much you can do about it except make hit stun like 0 frames. Like have no hit stop, have no block stop.
It's like you would have to have some weird computer program where it's like if you know it's like normally the way the option selects work is you make the computer, you send some input to it and then some secondary input, and if the first one is too busy, if you're busy during that time, then it moves on to the second one because that's how things work.
Right.
So you'd have to like make some program where like that didn't happen. I don't know. I'm not a programmer, but like that seems like it'd be tough.
Dude,
to do.
that's actually like T7 actually says a really good thing is that option selects have option selects to avoid getting removed.
Okay.
And that's pretty much true. Like for example, I always give the example in CVS1, right, where they try to remove the option select of jab or throw, which is the same problem that Guilty Gear is having, right? If you hit fierce and jab at the same time, if it whiffed, you would jab. If you were close enough, you would throw, right? So they made it so now the fierce had priority. But you know, it affects it in different ways now, right? So now obviously I can link roundhouses and stuff a lot easier.
Yeah.
If it was left the same way, everyone would be able to plink jabs and not roundhouses. And just all sorts of weird stuff happens, right? You can't control it because people are too smart. It's going back to the speedrunning thing.
That's definitely what it is.
It's going back to the speedrunning thing. There's nothing, like, we're too smart.
Yeah, we have like too much knowledge at this point of what to look for and how to go about doing it.
Right. We're just gonna break everything.
Yeah.
So
Look, I mean, I've talked about this before. I like option selects that help me avoid or mitigate the little mix-ups.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have to have mix-ups, but if I can force a situation, I feel like that's great for me because then the things that are not the little mix-up are elevated. My spacing to get the knockdown and force my mix-up. That becomes more important. And that's what I prefer. So that's why I like option selects when they do that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like they don't do that. And if that's the case, then fine. I don't love them.
But I mean,
that's my perspective.
I totally understand also from the other perspective.
Oh, sure, I understand.
You know, because a lot of people like I remember talking to Combo Fiend. He's kind of in that same position Serlin's from, right? Combo Fiend hates option selects.
Yes.
Because he's just like, I want to know I read you.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
when I get you, you know, I mean, obviously with more colorful language, you know, he was like, I got you, sir.
Yeah.
right? So, you know, I totally get that. And, you know, I've seen that opinion from a lot of people. So the fact that Guilty Gear has skewed heavier into option selects can be a problem, can be a turnoff. Because, I mean, a lot of people were mad at Street Fighter 4 for being so option select heavy. and it's funny to me because they've always been there. You know what I mean? Like, especially since a lot of those people are like Third Strike fans. And come on.
Yeah, come on, yeah.
Come on. You're playing Third Strike, which is like the option select heaven of you know.
Yeah, it's just a different kind. But yeah, they're in there.
Yeah.
They're in there for sure.
So, basically, what I'm kind of getting frustrated at, like, I love Mike Z to death, right? And he did say a lot of nice things about Guilty Gear and stuff like that, Xrd, and said a lot of good things.
So did
a lot of things I agree with him. Yeah, both of them. So I'm just, because like I said, I hadn't gotten a chance to read Serlin's yet, but for both of them, they brought up a lot of very solid points, right? But the one thing that I'm kind of frustrated at is, you know, like Mike Z was saying, like, he's actually said, like, tweeted Axis Games, like, please give me plus R, I'll rebalance it and do stuff to it, because he's going to stick with plus R and stuff like that. He's not going to play Xrd because it's not appealing to him and stuff like that, you know. I feel like as, like, community members, leaders, kind of things like that, it kind of hurts it a little bit. I did the same thing with Leffen from the Smash community when he started talking bad about Smash 4. I was like, you know, you probably shouldn't really discourage people from playing it. You know what I mean? You should just kind of encourage people to play it, maybe try to help along with it. Maybe just, I mean, even if it's not your game, like, don't be like, yo, I'm not going to play it because this is bad, kind of thing. I don't know. Like, so I get mad a lot at the Melee community for not moving on to games like Smash 4 because it's not exactly like Melee.
Well, look, I don't think that they need to move on, but and I don't think that that's necessarily what you meant either, but they need to not discourage other people from playing whichever Smash game or whichever game they prefer.
And don't get me wrong, I don't think Serlin or Mike Z at all is discouraging. They're just literally saying that I don't like this, I'm not going to play it. And, you know, but the problem is, you know, a lot of people look up to these guys, a lot of people take their opinions seriously, including guys like Leffen and stuff like that. And I think it kind of fuels that hate. You know what I mean? Because now, if someone else says, I don't like Xrd, I like plus R, they can be like, well, Mike Z said, well, Serlin said, and you know what I mean? And I think that's just kind of bad in a way. And especially because a lot of people are enjoying Xrd, it's a new game, and, you know, I bring up the example to the Smash players all the time. Right? And yeah, Mike Z, that's actually really cool because he did make his own game, so he can really say a lot, right? Yeah. He has the right to say a lot.
You're right.
So, but I mean, you know, the example I always give to Smash players is, because they're always like, oh my god, Smash Melee is like, you know, the best, whatever, it should always be. It's like Street Fighter 2 was nothing like Street Fighter 3, which is nothing like Street Fighter 4.
Also good.
Right? So they all have their own...
I hope that 5 continues that trend.
Right, exactly. And so, and let me get into a little bit of irony here at some point, but, you know, Xrd, I don't expect it to be like plus XX. Yeah. I don't want it to be like all of those games necessarily, right? I mean, look, I totally understand. I want, you know, like when I made up my suggestions on how to fix Cross Tekken, I tried to turn it into Super Turbo. Like, I totally understand. I totally get it. I totally get why you want it to be just like before, but you can't expect it to. It has to try to appeal to new audiences. It has to have something to be different enough to qualify itself as another game. Otherwise, if it's the exact same game, and this is where the irony comes in.
Oh, I know where you're going.
Yeah, a lot of people who watched the Street Fighter V stuff were like, this game looks exactly like Street Fighter 4. I don't want to play this. This sucks. And so, like, in this situation, because it looks exactly the same, you're saying it sucks. And then when the games come out and they're nothing like the previous game, it sucks because it's not like the previous game. You know what I mean? It's just like, what exactly are people looking for? Like, if they did make Xrd and it was exactly the same thing as plus R, wouldn't a lot of people just be like, what's the point of this then? This game sucks. You just wasted all this time. Right? I mean, it's just like, I don't know what people want, honestly. Yeah. Anyways, okay, done ranting.
Okay, no, I totally get it. Yeah, I totally get it. It seems, look, I'm not that enthused with it. All right? It's probably because I can't find a character.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's a huge part of it.
That sucks.
The character that I feel like I would most naturally fit with is Potemkin. And he sucks, and I know it. And in order to make him suck less, I need to learn this ridiculous execution combo that I can't do.
Right. I haven't even tried it.
I tried it for 2 minutes, and I was like, all right, never doing this again.
I'm not ever going to try. So.
Yeah, never doing it again. So that's definitely hindering me. On top of that, I feel like that character is like, why would I play Potemkin when there's like way more interesting grapplers? In my opinion. Okay, I feel like there have been fascinating grapplers in the last few years. Like Hakan, Waldstein,
Tager,
for example, Bane. I think I really like some characters, and I just don't feel like Potemkin has that. But that's just me, and I hope that nobody takes that as discouraging them from playing Xrd, because I'm very happy that everybody else seems like they're enjoying it. I know you guys have been having meetups for it like every weekend, which is awesome. And anybody who finds any interest in it should totally play.
Right.
Different strokes, man. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah. And again, it's just like, there may be more option selects, but that's the thing, right? The game, it's funny because a lot of people are getting mad at like Elfelt unblockables and all these things like that, right? And unblockables have existed in Guilty Gear for a very long time. Yeah. Like they've never not been there. In fact, Johnny has a myth that if he catches you, it's specifically designed to make his move unblockable, right? So, but I mean, it's just like, I just feel like it's interesting to put in a lot of these new mechanics to see how they twist things around. Not only that, it's the first iteration, right?
Yeah.
Right? This is Xrd, and let's face it, we went from XX to XX Reload to XX Slash to XX Accent Core to XX Accent Core plus R. Look, I'm sure they'll address things that come up.
Yeah. If you had to bet on it, you would bet that it's not the last Xrd.
Exactly. So, there's a reason to stick with the game, keep playing it, because it may get... I mean, this is what I tell the Smash community. Smash 4 might not even be the game that you'll love, but you should support it, because if you do, that will help chances for a Smash 5. And maybe Smash 5 will be the game that you love.
Okay.
Right? I mean, obviously Nintendo's a different story because Sakurai so far is causing problems, but he said, like, I can't make another Smash game. He says that every time, right? And then he makes another one. But
in my opinion, good.
Yeah, right.
Get out of there.
Exactly. So what I'm thinking is, let's say he means it this time and he retires, right? And he's like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And then someone else takes Smash 5, right? Namco's had a hand in it. What if, like, Harada takes Smash 5? Or something like that. Something could happen. But if you support Smash 4 and help it grow, and Nintendo's like, okay, this competitive community is really cool, and then Smash 5 comes out and helps with them, and gears it more towards competitive, you're building for the future, right? Like, I'm sure Street Fighter 5 is going to have way more competitive things built into it, friendly competitive things built into it, right? Maybe they'll put in tournament modes where you can actually, it'll update the score for you. Oh, man. So the streamers don't have to do it themselves, really simple things like that. But there's a lot of potential for that. But that's because, and I've told people too, I'm like, dude, we've been bugging Capcom to try to help us for like 10 years, 15 years now, right? And so it's not, you can't expect it all just to be like, support them, boom, great. Here's the patch for Smash 4 that turns it to Melee.
Right, yeah.
It's not going to happen that way. So, anyways, okay, I'm rambling too much again. So
that's cool. Yeah, Sakurai, I'm not a big fan of. I feel like that guy is a roadblock. And to the extent that Nintendo is supporting competitive Smash, I feel like it's probably not because of him.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, it might be despite him. Right. Somebody in the marketing department is probably like, hey, everybody, a lot of people like this game, and they could be good advertising for us, and maybe we should give that a try. And I picture Sakurai being like, why would they play competitively?
Yeah, I know.
And then marketing guy's like, well, and then, that's like how I imagine it going. But yeah.
Yeah, I totally pictured he's like, it's my game, and takes the code and goes home with it,
So whatever, he's not involved. But definitely I would like to have a new Smash game, and you're totally right. The way to support it is to support the current one, and I feel the same way about Exver. Maybe I like the next Exver. Maybe it has a character that I feel like I fit well with,
Yeah, absolutely. So. And Guilty Gear, it's so funny to me now, because now that I think about it, Reload was actually a hashtag reload.
Yeah.
Like they were doing hashtags long before Twitter.
I think we called it pound reload. I don't think anybody called it hashtag reload.
So, because I just kept thinking what the next Xrd would be called. It would be like hashtag unsheath or something. I don't know, unsheathed or something like that. So, but no, I mean, look, we've been playing it a lot. we've been going to the House of Xrd on the weekends, right, here in SoCal. And we've been playing a lot. Sanchez, who we want to get on the show, by the way, to go over Exver.
At some point we will.
But he's a busy guy. So that's the reason why we haven't done it yet. Is he's not available all the time. But he's a good resource because right now he's killing everybody with Elfelt. Like, it's bad. He gets like 40-game win streaks and stuff like that. I was talking to Super FX. He said like he played him one time, just the two of them, and like Sanchez got like a 30-game win streak. He was like it's one of the worst beatdowns he can remember since Tekken something like so long ago. He's like it was like one of the worst beatdowns that he can kind of remember, like not winning a game. But Sanchez's Elfelt is really sick, and he doesn't use any of the unblockable setups.
Is that so?
Yeah, he does not use any of the.
He's just neutral game dominance.
He just neutral games you to death and just Elfelts you to death, and it's painful.
Giant corner combo to death kind of thing. Yeah.
It's painful. So you have to be super patient with that character. You have to be super patient fighting Elfelt. Like if she gets you in the corner and just starts doing shotgun reload, shotgun reload, shotgun reload, you either better be good at instant blocking or just block and wait, or green block and push her out and stuff like that. So
that guy's always good with new games. You know, he picks things up pretty quickly.
Yeah. But I mean, look, when I'm getting blown up by Elfeld, it doesn't feel any different than when I'm getting blown up by Eddie in Accent Core.
Do you think that she's that level of good?
I don't think she's even necessarily that level of good. But my point is, like, so far all these crazy new option selects haven't been doing anything for me. Okay. You know, they haven't made it any easier to beat him. Let's just put it that way, right? So
the YRC thing sounds like it's tough. I mean, not only is it only between 25 and 50 meter, well, I guess 25 and 49 meter, but you also have to input button 3 buttons, or button, mapped button, mapped button each time, which is, I don't know.
Just blink every button.
Yeah, when you're doing this, like you're playing piano, I don't know, it seems tough. So.
Yeah. But, I mean, honestly, I just think that the game is fine to me so far.
Cool. I'm glad you're having fun.
I'm enjoying it outside of the fact that I don't have a character. So I'm playing Potemkin, and it's tough. It's rough. But the funny thing is, when I played Potemkin, everybody was like, it's funny, nobody knows me as a grappler player.
Yeah, I know.
So everyone's always like, whoa, you're playing a grappler. And everyone told me to stick with Potemkin because I'm like, maybe I should play someone else. And they're like, stick with Potemkin. Your Potemkin was good. And I was like, oh, man, you guys just want me to suffer.
Yeah. Yeah, you play grapplers in games?
Dude, grapplers were the first characters I really played. Like, my first real main in hyper fighting was Honda at first, but then I eventually went to Zangief. So I was a Zangief player for a very long time. Even in Alpha 3, Zangief was my main. Alpha 2, Zangief was my main.
Yeah. Street Fighter 4?
When Street Fighter 4. When Street Fighter 3 came out, Alex was my main. You know, because he was the grappler and stuff like that. So I don't know when it shifted away from that, really, to be honest with you. So
I don't know, man. But all right. Look, I don't think we have anything else to talk about. Do we? No. Here's what we're going to do. It's 9:23. If you folks could send us some questions, we would be happy to answer.
Tweet at UltraChenTV.
Right.
And then we will answer it from there.
Correct.
And, you know, it's a new year. You can talk about things you expect out of the fighting game community or whatever like that. You can ask us, you know, strangely weird personal questions if you want. You can ask us anything that has to do with fighting games or whatever. You know, it's just going to be an open Q&A for 2015, so.
That's cool. All right. Well, we will.
You're going to get this question so many times, I swear.
Yeah, I maybe. Look, it's not going to matter if I deny it. Nobody's going to believe me.
Okay.
But yeah, all right. Well, we'll be back with that soon.